Boys Are Back in Town. Thin Lizzy, what a classic.
Beautiful.
Carl, should that be our anthem, me, you and Steve, eh? Eh? Yeah?
Can I just get a couple of bits of admin out of the way?
Go on.
We've had an email from Peter Goff. He has said, where is Richard Anderson?
Where is
He only
Dickers?
tunes in to listen to him.
Where's
and it's
Dickley? Where's little Dicky Docker?
Little Dicky Anders has not emailed in. If you don't listen normally, Anders is our biggest fan.
He loves us. I just absolutely
But he's
thinks the
normally
world
got
of...
a little bit of constructive criticism,
Oh,
which
right,
we
no,
always
he's
appreciate.
not- Yeah, we're open to that. Sure, sure,
Exactly.
sure.
So-
I'm gonna shove this up your...
So if Dickie Anders is listening, then he might want to get in touch. Also, dear Ricky, I've developed a bit of a fetish for the way you say "winnersh" in your hit sitcom The Office. I'm trying to get my fiancé to say it, but he hasn't quite mastered it yet. Anyway, we're getting married in Las Vegas in a couple of weeks' time. Could you please say "winnersh" on air as a sort of early wedding
It's
present?
becoming one of the most popular requests at weddings now, me saying "winnersh." So, "winnersh." There's a few I didn't get in. Thatcham, Shinfield. So there's a Woodley.
There you are.
There you go.
That's beautiful. That's keeping them happy. Good luck to them. That's that's Leopard. That's one of those stupid email names. If you're going to email us, at least mention your name, because otherwise it makes me sound like a fool.
A leopard, the original name for a giraffe.
Interesting. Thanks for that.
Whereas Lego was
Yes.
invented when a mother had sent someone to get some, though there's no name for them. She went, "Can you go and get some?" There was a gap. He went,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, I'll go and get some," because they weren't called anything. Brought them back, started playing with her. And then she went, "Look, give me those." And he went, "No." She went, "Lego, you idiot."
Yeah, the actual explanation, various people have emailed us in or phoned in now. The company was set up in 1934. It's a Danish company, obviously.
Yeah.
Lego comes from the Danish words leg got, which means play well, and it was later discovered that it was also a Latin phrase that meant I study or I put together. That's the actual, where did you get that from?
But the thing is, you see, that's where learning's got to be interesting, because if it even started like that, I'd just go, I'm not interested. I'll be looking for
Oh, so if a fact might be true, but it's just not good enough.
It's not interesting enough for you.
Not interesting enough.
Okay, another quick dilemma for
so
you, Carl.
if Newton would have said, apples are attracted to our heads, be careful, they attack you, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
Total bollocks, but you'd have been interested, therefore, in all modern physics. Alright?
Here's another dilemma for you, a quick one from Kate. She says that she's a single woman, she's 6 foot tall. Recently she's found herself being approached by men of, let's say, restricted height. And she's not desperate, but is it ever acceptable in her, she wants to know now, is it ever acceptable for a tall lady to go out with a person of restricted growth? What do you think about that? If you see that on the street, do you think it looks bizarre, do you think it looks odd, or
So a
should she just
6
go with
foot
it?
woman with,
Someone of a dwarfish persuasion.
we can't say sort of that, or the midget word, but I
can't
mean,
say that, no.
as a little fella.
Yeah. Is that, so there's a noticeable difference in their height, is that ever a problem to you?
She's 6 foot, he's 3'4".
Yeah.
If I saw it, I'd just think she's doing it.
Okay, let's not do this now.
No, come on, she's doing it what?
Oh.
No, for attention in a way. Because there's loads of other
See, I
people.
told you, Steve.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just. I mean, is that serious?
I think so.
Well, I mean, if it, whatever
God, I
makes you
shouldn't.
happy.
Please don't ask Carl
No,
these
but
sort
do you
of
know what I
questions.
mean? If it makes her happy, then do it. But in a way, you're not going to have a normal life.
Oh, God.
No, but you're not, because you're going to get sick.
I'm
There's no
so
point bringing
sorry.
trouble onto yourself.
Carl does not necessarily reflect the opinions of
Anybody
the
else in the world.
Hold on. This woman, she doesn't live in a forest in a little cottage, does she? She hasn't got long black hair and wears a sort of...
She says the guy she's going out with is a miner. In
Really?
a crystal mine, yeah. And he just sings all day on his way
Has
to
he got
work.
6 mates?
Apparently so.
Okay, what do you think of that, Carl?
I'm still sorry, I wasn't listening. I was just thinking about.
Someone just called up and called him dopey.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
I mean, whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Why? What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you today?
I'm just saying.
What you're fed up with people taking issue with some of the stupid things you say? Lego was invented by a mother going, Lego of that. What are we going to do with all the buildings? The earth might collapse. What do you expect people to say?
Well,
Even our listeners know you're talking rubbish. And some of those that aren't allowed to wear socks. I mean...
Listen, right, last week when I did Doing Edom, do you know when I called up, one of the museums in a science museum?
Yeah, are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I wanted to tell you before when the song was on, but you're so busy listening to it.
Yeah,
I've got to-
was I? So busy listening to a song I was playing.
Yeah, but we're doing a radio show, aren't
Alright,
we?
what's your point?
Well, I just wanted to say, she emailed in to say I got her name wrong, so I'm just apologising for that.
What did you call her?
I think I called her Jessica.
What was her name?
I don't know, I've got it on email somewhere.
Well, this is not an apology!
No, I know, I'm
You've
just
got
saying.
it wrong
You've not
again!
even said her real name! How is that an apology?
Well, I read the email, so, yeah, I
But who are you apologising to?
I think her name's Jackie, I think.
Oh, you've got it wrong again, haven't you?
Well, anyway, and she just said if you want to see dinosaurs and that, go to the museum.
You were complaining about that as well, weren't you? You went to a museum and there was too many dinosaurs. He said you just need 4.
No, well, Steve, have you been to the one in Knightsbridge?
I think
This
so.
one that I called up, right? It's nice, you go in, you get a good collection of stuff, you walk in, there's 3 or 4 dinosaurs, you've had enough, right? I went into New York, right, went to the museum there, hundreds of them. You can't move the dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're responsible for them being extinct. There's loads of them. So all I'm saying is, if you want to see a dinosaur, go to the one near Knightsbridge. They've got a nice selection, some old vases and stuff. It's worth going. So,
Do you work for them? Because that was a pretty big sell.
well,
You could work that into quite an advert, I imagine. Brilliant. Carl, you're fed up, aren't you? Because you had to get up early.
Well, that's another thing, but will we give out the answers for...
Let's do that after we've played the next tune. I have to say that I'm wondering if Rockbusters, like Do We Need 'Em, is beginning to run its course, because this week we've had very, very few right answers. I think it's just getting too complicated.
Yeah, because his clues and his answers are rubbish. Why don't you start doing proper ones?
These are good. We started off easy, if
I
you
don't know,
remember.
I think some of them are a bit tortuous.
They
But
don't
anyway,
work. Some of them don't work.
Come up with some stuff then.
let's play a tune.
Well, I have.
And we'll come back with the Rockbusters answers in a second.
You haven't come up with anything.
1-800-SUICIDE. It's a good tune, that. I've always enjoyed it.
XFM 104.9. Well, that's nearly it from Gervais. That's me, Steve Merchant.
One of the 50 most eligible bachelors in Britain. I hope people as well, if you buy Company Magazine, if there's any ladies listening, every week, of course, I've played you a song for the ladies, and I hope now that you'll be able to return the favour and maybe vote for me. Buy Company Magazine, vote for me, so I become 50, the number one.
That's seriously, it wouldn't mean anything then, would it?
What do you mean?
Well, it wouldn't mean anything then, would it? If they voted you and you got into the top 30, it wouldn't mean anything because you've asked them to do it.
What are you talking about? Of course, because it means that they care for me enough, and then they are impressed and charmed by enough that they've actually made that effort. That's beautiful.
I think that would ruin it.
Well, let's wait and see what the results are.
Do you think, getting off that, because we don't want Steve to use as a platform to get in the top 48. He's bound to beat a couple of people. But, what do you think of him now, Carl? Now you've known him for these many years. What do you think of his looks objectively now that you've known him? Can you remember what you first thought?
Like I say, he's changed a bit. He's sorted himself out a bit.
Yeah.
Looks a bit better.
How? What's he done?
I don't know. His hair's better.
Yeah, what was it before?
It was just a bit nothingy. Do you know what I mean? It was like just like if you just let your hair grow and do its own thing. Whereas now it's got a style.
Yeah.
So it looks good.
Glasses, he's changed.
His glasses are stylish.
Yeah.
Just stay sat down. If you're going to shake, you can.
This is the worst competition ever.
So
It's Chaka.
have you got?
It's Chaka. It's Chaka. It's Chaka Khan.
Shake a can.
No, Chaka Khan.
What you got?
Chuck a can might have worked. To throw a can.
Who got all 3 right then?
Well, because basically what happened was people
We're
just
stopping
emailed in 3 guesses.
We're stopping
and
this.
the guesses that were right came from Mandy Thompson in Hendon.
Let's ruin
but
that one
frankly,
then. Well, that's run that into the ground. That's Do We Need 'Em ruined.
No, we can't just bin everything on 1 week.
I don't think we're gonna get that. Oh, they're not as good as they think they are because you only picked on Newton Einstein. You don't know anyone else. You don't know who Gandhi is. Chimpanzee that. You've run out of,
I did like the jingle for that though.
Oh, chimpanzee that!
That was a great jingle.
Yeah,
But sadly we won't be able to use that again.
So who's won anyway?
Well, it was Mandy Thompson I mentioned, but as I say, she guessed, so I mean, she can have the prizes, she's welcome to them.
There you
But,
go.
I think we should knock it on the head, Carl. Maybe you should come up with something new.
No, I think it's still got a few weeks in it.
I think we should take some time off.
Well,
Yeah. What about, like, the foreseeable future?
Don't know.
song
does
for
that
the
sound?
lovers. Do you want to just play
A song
that?
for the ladies. Listen, I think it's maybe the March issue of Company Magazine. by that, top 50 most eligible people. There's probably an address or a phone number to call. And here's another song for the ladies, maybe just to charm you further. Tom the Model by Beth Gibbons and Rustin Man.
Carl, say
The current
goodbye and
album.
say it nicely, like you're happy.
See you later.
Oh, is that the best you can do?
I'm gonna burst! Sloths never get flu, because that's when your body's replenishing.
So the thing is, I'm bound to get ill. Steve, you know what it's like. You're always like got a cold and that.
Oh, he's dissing you, everything's
what's
a
it got to do with
diss.
I'm just saying because you're a bit of a sickly child, so you don't
Oh, jeez,
I'm
I'm
only-
gonna go at the looks
understand.
and then
No, only because
What do you
I'm
mean?
trying to get him on my side. So anyway, so I'm shattered. I get back, so I think it's a bit weird that this isn't shaking off. And there was some news report about how there's some serious illnesses in planes because stuff goes out the engine and into the.
Oh yeah, it's people from all over the world with all different things.
Yeah,
breathing
so
the
so
same
I'm thinking,
air, yeah.
oh, what have I got? You know, it's my luck, innit? So I go to the doctors.
The doctor said, well, you've done a whole day's work and you're not used to that, your body's shut down.
So he said,
That's
"Go have a
slow."
holiday.
Yeah, you need, this is when your body needs replenishing. And I am a doctor and I know replenishment is one of the best,
Replenishization.
replenishment is one of the best things for sloths.
So I said to him, I said, look, I'm not one to moan. I hardly go to see him.
He went, oh, you.
I hardly see him. I hardly see this fella. So I said, look, I can't shake this cold off. I woke up the other night shaking. And he said, oh, virus. Right. So,
Which isn't scary at all, because everything, you know.
well, there's some dodgy virus, isn't
Well,
there?
yeah, but there's some.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Yeah,
you know,
well,
that's
of course, it's
why
a
I was.
virus. What else would it? What else would it be?
I don't know. Not a doctor. So I said, oh, when's it going to go? And he said, oh, might be 2 weeks, this one. Seems like a bad one. Quite clammy, he said. So I said, yeah, I feel a bit clammy, yeah. And he said, yeah, you will do. So anyway, so I felt happy about that, and I'm more confident with the doctor, because, you know, you've got your vest off and all that, so you think, why not just let him do a bit of a body check? So I said, doctor, whilst I'm here, I think I've got some eczema on my leg. And he goes, let's have a look. And I said, there it is there. And he said, that's not eczema. So you've got a touch of ringworm.
Blimey.
Right? So straight away, anything with a worm in it, you're going, you what?
Yeah.
'Cause it makes it sound worse on it. I was thinking like tapeworm and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's going, yeah, ringworm. And he saw me panic and he went, don't worry.
You
it's not."
pictured a worm with a giant
Well,
mechanical arm crawling up
He
your back.
could see by my face, I was a little bit like, I've got a worm in my leg. He's going, don't worry, it's not a worm. And I said, how have I got that then? And I reckon it's from this bear suit. That I had
It
to
wasn't.
wear.
It was. Well, it was
It's a
fake
little bit
fur.
weird that I had
No, it was 'cause
bare
you were
boots
like-
on. I had bare boots on, and
Yeah.
where the bare boot was, I ended up with ringworm on my
Do
leg.
you know why it's where it was? Because the only bit of your leg showing, because you had bare boots on, fake fur, with a fake fur tunic, and the only bit showing was your shin. You were walking around in long grass. You got it from the grass.
Well, no, because I said to him, because I wanted to hear the words bear suit from him. I said, where
What's the chances of that?
Yeah.
I said, where...
Doctor, what might I got this from? And then you just shut up and waited for him to say
I said,
bear suit.
it's a little bit weird, isn't it? I said, I thought that died out with rickets, right? Because I'd never heard of ringworm since I was a kid. I remember some dirty kid had it at school, and my mum sort of said, don't go near him. So I said, ringworm then, doctor. Where have I got that from? Thinking he'd say...
Have you been wearing a bear suit?
Yeah. Anyway, he said, well, he says gay people get it.
What? Yeah. No, he didn't.
He did.
Why did he say that to you?
Well, this is what he said. He said gay people. I said, right, tick that off. He said wrestlers.
Why do wrestlers get it?
And I said, I don't understand the connection. I said, I don't know, you know, any gays. I don't know any wrestlers. And he went, well, it's the body, skin rubbing.
Well, why do only gay people get it then? Why don't heterosexual people get it?
Don't know. Didn't quiz him. But then he said, what about...
Did the doctor really say to you, gay people get it?
He might have said, like, homosexuals.
Does this doctor operate from a park bench somewhere?
Sorry,
Does he have a lot of carrier bags with him?
Why would his first thing be ringworm? Gay people get it.
So yeah, I said not gay. No, I said I don't know any wrestlers. That's a fact. And then he said, have you stroked any bald pets?
Any bald pets?
Bald. He said, have you stroked anything with hair missing? Bald.
Just yourself.
And I said, I can't remember. And I couldn't be bothered.
Sorry, were these all euphemisms? Like, wrestlers get it. Wink. Do they? Yeah. You stroked the Little bald hairless thing. No, doctor. Okay, gay people get it. Look, are you gay? Are you gay? I'm gay. I'm gay. I want to stroke someone bald.
So I didn't want to get into the bear suit thing because then he'd be thinking, what's he doing?
No, you've got it.
So what? Wait. So he had a list of he's reading this off a list, was he?
No, he did it from his head. He knew it already. He didn't have to look at a form or anything. He went ringworm. He's obviously had a few people in there who have had it, and they've gone ringworm. That's a bit of weird. Where have I got that from? And he knew straight away.
So he's had 3 people in there with ringworm.
Popular.
One of them was a wrestler. One of them had a shaved dog, and one of them was a homosexualist. Is this the same doctor who
Told me that my nerves were too short for my body.
Yeah.
Different fella. So yeah, ringworm I got from my time in Boston.
Well, that was a heck of a story. I'm beginning to wonder if the reason Suzanne didn't go with you on that trip was not to do with work obligations.
Your iPod, you've downloaded it, maybe?
It's a test transmission.
Yeah.
Oh, it is a test transmission. Testing.
Yeah.
If you're hearing this, then it's working.
Who are you?
I'm Ricky Gervais. Who are you?
Steve Merchant.
Who's that little bald-headed mank twat chimp over there?
It's me, innit? Alright.
Yeah, well, we need your name, don't we?
Carl is.
Telling you, I was talking to you earlier about going to Vietnam, and I'm not good. I mean, although I like to travel, as you know, I like to go to exotic places. This is going to come as a surprise to you, Rick, but I do look very English when I'm abroad. I obviously I'm 6'7". I'm quite pasty and white, and I find it very hard to blend in with, say, Vietnamese people.
Sure.
But this time I thought I'd embrace this, and I've brought you something as to show you. It's not really going to be very helpful on the enemy radio, but I decided to wear a hat. I thought I'd buy a hat and wear a hat, and I thought that I bought this last minute as I was just before I got on the plane. I was doing some shopping. I thought I need to, because you think
it'd be something like from a Graham Greene novel,
right? Exactly.
They'd go, they call him the Englishman.
Exactly.
He's the wisest, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought, because you can kind of reinvent yourself when you're abroad in some way, can't you? You know.
Yeah.
And so this is the hat I got.
Christ.
Maybe you should look away for a second. I'll put it on, and then you can. Now, bear in mind, it is a bit battered because it's been in bags and stuff.
Sure. Steve, what are you thinking? Right.
No, it is a bit battered and damaged, I
Right.
admit.
Okay. How can I? Right. It looks like a cross between something Miss Marple would wear.
That's nonsense.
No, it does. It looks a bit like that. And there's a beer with a bloke drinking. What's that called? Moretti beer?
I think you're thinking of the Hofmeister bear.
No, I'm not. It looks like Miss Marple's hat.
It doesn't look like Miss Marple's hat. It's kind of moddy, isn't it?
It's not. It's a tweed thing that comes down that an old lady would wear.
Not tweed.
It was a librarian lady would wear in the 1930s.
It's not tweed.
I have never seen it. That you didn't really buy that, did you, to wear?
I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
Right. Can I take a picture of this and I'll put it on my website? Right, I am now taping this on a camcorder. I will put this up on rickygervais.com.
I disagree. I think this genuinely looks good. I think it makes me look a bit like, say, Tom Waits or Farmer Barlow. The point is this, right? I'm wearing the hat, I'm looking good, okay? But people, obviously, they can sense that I'm a moneyed tourist. They can see how good I look, and they know I've got a little bit of money in my pocket, I can afford to buy hats, you know, and everything. So obviously I'm always a target for people trying to get money from me, stuff like that, which is always a hassle, isn't it? And I find it very difficult tipping when I'm abroad. I don't really understand what the rules are with tipping, and that's a big anxiety for me. And also I have problems with the conversion, you know, because obviously when you go abroad. So the Vietnamese dong. Come on, there's nothing funny about that. That's just what it's called, right? For $63 US, you can get 1 million dong. Right? That's a lot of dong. So, I'm packing, like...
a huge dong.
I got, like, 2 million dong, like, in me money belt under my shirt. Right?
Yeah, so look at this image, right? You were wearing that hat and a bum bag.
Yes, but...
You
Well, no, I don't have a bum
cool.
bag. I have a money belt that I wear underneath the t-shirt.
Right.
So as not to see, so people don't think I've got any money on me, and if I get mugged, I can just go, I've got any money on me, because they would never think to look
Under the
underneath
t-shirt.
the shirt and see the money belt, right?
Well, that's still out of reach, isn't it? Over there.
Yeah, and they are actually looking up your t-shirt.
I don't get that. And then there was a programme on a few weeks ago on BBC about spiders. And there was this one, right, it was going, you know, there's so many spiders in the world, and apparently there's so many of them, they can't give them all names, right? What they're saying is, once one dies out, they'll actually introduce another one. Because there's so many different breeds of them, that it's impossible to sort of make a book and list them all.
Right.
Well, it's
like
the book
a
would be infinitely long.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a queue.
They're not trying to name it individually, are they?
No.
That's their problem.
No,
Yeah. Just keep it down to the species. Go on.
This is true.
Go on then, yeah.
So they'll sort of go gives a spider, the Black Widow, right? Black Widow, they've all died, so who's next? And they'll say, here's a redback.
Yeah.
And that's how they introduce them. So this programme was going on about this. Right?
Oh, how they do it.
No, they do it.
Okay, your point
Okay, right.
Right, so anyway, there's this little one, right, in Australia, and it shows you some kids being dead happy and playing around in the sun, loving it, you know, all healthy and that, and, you know, love being in the sun. They're playing around the pool, and, you know, there's a couple of them there playing swing ball and that, dead happy, not a care in the world. And, like, one of them goes, oh, I'll go swimming, because I've been playing swing ball for an hour, got a bit of a sweat.
Sure.
Go for a little breaststroke or whatever. And they get in the pool, and they can't wait to have a swim about, and then it pans to the bottom of the pool.
Yeah.
And there's this little spider just sat there dead still. Right? Sat at the bottom of the pool holding its breath.
Holding its breath!
Okay.
Cheeks going up red, eyes bulging.
yeah.
Oh, 8 pairs of goggles on.
One goes by with a snorkel. You should have thought of this.
4 pairs of flippers.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's sat there in the deep end, right? And then it pans back to the kids having a good time, chucking a ball to each other.
Yeah. I can see what's going to happen here.
And it pans back.
It's not going to join in the game, is it?
No.
And what happens is, the kid starts bouncing up and down on the floor.
Sure.
Goes and sticks the kid goes and puts a foot on the spider. Bites the kid, and apparently, if you're not seen to, you can be dead in 15 minutes.
Sorry, why does this spider sit at the bottom of the pool?
That's what it likes to do.
Animals don't do things they like to do. Animals do things for a reason.
Waiting for a kid to come along. So
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
well, that's what
It's not. It doesn't go out to murder kids. That's not. That's not what it does.
No, there must be a reason. I mean, if you just stopped when you watch these programs and don't get involved with the music and, like, you know, the odd, why does it sit at the bottom of the pool? There must be it either goes there for protection, food, to cool. It does it for a reason. It doesn't go there to wind up swimmers.
Yeah.
There must be a reason. This is it. If anyone's watching, please, if you're watching that program, I don't know about this spider. What's the name of the spider?
I'm not sure.
Okay. 08700 800 123.
Is it the Duncan Goodhue?
Is it Paul?
I mean, I don't know, maybe it does go into other things like ponds and that, and maybe it does the same for ducks, if a duck stands on it.
But why? The duck stands on it!
Why?
Oh, I love your brain.
Probably because eventually, you know, a kid can get, like, saved if it's seen to in 15 minutes, but a duck is just gonna, like, wander around and go, God, I don't feel well, and what have you.
What good is that to the spider?
Because...
No, I'm saying it might kill it if it might protect itself, but it must be in the pond for a reason in the first place, or the swimming pool. It must be down there for a reason. It must have another agenda, evolutionary wise. It can't just do it.
Could it be in training for the Olympics?
Unless it is just cooling. Like those, because on one of the other programmes that's a bit mental,
Oh yeah, that one, yeah.
The one with the lizards. Did I tell you
Well,
that?
let's not get into lizards. This could take...
Okay, no, go on quickly.
No, this is a good one. It was a programme, BBC programme again, on how insects and animals help each other out.
Yeah.
Right? They were saying how, you know, you might think they're an insect, but they think like humans do.
Yeah.
And they all help each other out. Right? And there was this lizard that is running about in the desert, right? And it's going, God, it's roasting. And what it does, it makes a little hole in the sand, and it goes under the ground and it cools down, right?
Yeah.
And then you see one of the locals, I think it was in Egypt or something, and the Egypt bloke comes walking along.
Egypt bloke.
And
Is he walking like an Egypt bloke?
Walk like an Egypt bloke.
and what he does, right? He's looking out for these holes in the ground.
Sure.
And he sticks his hand in.
Yeah.
And
Why does he want the lizard?
he makes shoes and stuff out of it.
Okay.
Right? And you see
Cobblers.
walking around, he's got about 12 of these things in a basket on his back, and they're
Yeah.
all looking really fed up.
Oh, yeah.
And it's dead hot, and they can't be bothered trying to escape, and they look really fed up. And this bloke's laughing, you know, he's collecting loads.
I love how he watches this, like, because they sort of editorialise it and make it into, like, some
Exactly.
sort of, like, evil play.
Yeah.
But then it was saying how this deadly scorpion that man is scared of is mates with the lizard. And the reason is that the scorpion goes into the hole, right? It can't dig its own hole because its arms are that big and it's awkward for it to dig a proper hole.
Sure.
So what it does, it goes into the little den that the lizard's made, right? And whilst the lizard's having a kip, the scorpion says, "I tell you what, I'll do you a deal. You have a kip, I'll walk up and down this hole here and sort of scare away any people." So the lizard's like, "Yeah, all right then, fair enough." Because the scorpion wants a little hole to keep out the sun. The lizard wants a kip. They've done themselves a little deal. The Egyptian bloke comes walking along, sticks his hand in the hole.
Yeah.
He thinks he's just going to get a lizard. Scorpion stings him. He runs off, drops the basket. All the lizards go running off.
I love the fact that that is what always happens.
Yeah.
They filmed that just by
Yeah,
chance, and that's
exactly.
what always happens. I like the fact that the Egyptian bloke has done this every day. He does it. He goes, "Well, okay, I've got all these lizards. I'll just go to this hole again.
Yeah.
Because I haven't got that lizard yet.
Yeah.
This will be fine."
No,
I
it's- I just think...
And
you know,
when the lizard and the scorpion make that deal, and he says you have a kip,
Yeah.
and the other one does it, do they talk in Egypt or? I mean,
they talk
how
Egypt
do they
bloke.
how do they discuss?
They talk Egypt bloke or
this?
English bloke.
What language do they use, Carl?
No, it's the international language of love.
But spiders is what you're putting in Rule 101.
Spiders.
Let's go back to that.
Spiders. So spiders that.
Basically, spiders that have got the poison to kill a man.
Because Rick, I know, because
Okay.
but Rick, I know
what
you're.
about the ones that are just too big for their own good? Those
I
are
don't understand that either.
But Rick, you're scared of all spiders, aren't you?
Yeah.
Even the little tiny ones you
I
find.
don't
in the
like
garden.
any spiders. Yeah.
Is your husband afraid of them as well? Or?
Oh dear.
Fine here.
What are we playing here? Oh, this is Cat Stevens. Silent Sunlight. It's beautiful off Catch Bullet 4 at its peak in the 70s. Cat Stevens, Silent Sunlight. Carl just had a funny phone call, didn't you? From someone who's telling you all about the Little Brown, it's called, is it?
Little brown, yeah. That's the name of the spider that sits in the bottom of the pool. He said it doesn't hold its breath. It's got an air bubble.
I didn't think it did hold its breath, to be honest. And then, as you know, Steve was opening a letter we got, and it's a football song, and it's They Don't Like It Up by the Leatherhead Gimpers.
But it's the fact we keep getting sent homemade singles.
Wow, that's good, isn't it? Oh, there's another one here.
They're both football anthems, though. We don't. Do we show any interest in football? Or are we?
Well, yeah, the World Cup we do, don't we?
You're right, Rick.
Yeah. I've got a bet on as well.
Have you?
Arsenal, Chelsea to win 2-1.
What today?
Yeah. And I've got Chelsea to win 2-1, but Henri to score first. And that's something like 30-1 or something.
Best luck.
Yeah.
Best luck.
Cheers.
Brilliant.
Right, so, spiders, that's the first one in room 101, isn't it?
So you
rude
agree with
people in supermarkets, spiders that are either have got enough poison to kill a man, or are unnecessarily big.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on then. Right, good. Going well.
Right. Next one.
Yeah.
Stars in Their Eyes.
Blimey, it's a popular show. You might alienate a lot of people.
Stand it.
Why?
Just, I think, if you've got a talent, right, there's loads of shows now that you can go on and make a killing.
Yeah.
Like Pop Idol.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Pop Stars.
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So, people who will go on Stars in Their Eyes, they want to sort of be famous.
Yeah.
They want to be a singer. What I don't understand is why go on that show where you do all the hard work, got to do all the graft,
Yeah.
and yet, even if they win it, you never see him again. The guy who won last year, Christy Berg.
Ian Moore.
Ian Moore.
Before last, but I was now with his own stuff.
Yeah, but, alright. How did he sell?
That sold well.
Exactly. Don't get it.
What I like is when, someone doing Edith Piaf, like, wins a heat, and, Matthew goes, well, I don't think you'll be going back to the, cleaning job, will you? Yeah. Yes, you will. Monday.
Almost certainly.
Monday. She'll be back there Monday. Yeah.
And just the way, you know, in like the final last week where the guy who was Elvis won, and they're all
I thought we would,
there.
though. I thought it was very good.
No, he was good, but will we see him again? Do you know what I mean? What is his job?
I don't know.
He'll be carrying on doing that. There's going to be no change to his life whatsoever. He's very good at what he does, but he's wasting his time on Stars in the Rise.
So I don't understand exactly what your issue is. You clearly like the show because you watched the final last week.
He thinks
You agree that people are talented.
You think it's a waste of talent to go on Stars in the Rise because it's not a vehicle to be famous, whereas something like
Pop Idol,
Yeah.
Pop Stars, even
Yeah.
Big Brother. Do you know what I mean? Go on that. Sit in a room all day, have a month off work.
because they're all big stars now, aren't they?
No, but what I'm saying is, it's less work to sit in the Big Brother house. Now and again, just sing a song, and people go, oh, isn't he a good singer? You come out after having a month's rest or whatever it is you're having there.
Yeah.
You come out and there's loads of record companies, like, waiting for you to come out and give you a deal.
And what happens then when you get a deal? When you cut a record, what happens to that record then?
Then it's either sells or it doesn't.
And actually, what happened to it?
It didn't sell.
No, none of them did.
But what I'm saying is, that is a lot easier to do than all the graft that you have to do on Stars in the Rise and the pressure.
What would you rather do? Buy Craig's Christmas record
Yeah.
or Ian Moore's classics?
Probably Craig, just because the guy on Stars in the Rise really thought he was better than Krista Berg. When he was singing, and
I think I'm better than Christopher Berg.
he was singing, and Krista Berg came walking on.
Did he cry?
And he didn't stop and go, oh, I can't believe it, I'm a big fan. He was sort of carrying on, like, don't interrupt me, I'll have a word with you in a bit.
You think you should show the man he's actually making a little bit of living off?
Yeah.
Emulating.
A bit of respect.
A bit more respect.
And the most annoying thing...
I imagine them arguing, resting each other's floor saying, I'm Krista Berg, no, I'm Krista Berg, like two ventriloquist dummies, just having a fight in the dressing room afterwards.
The most annoying thing of all with Stars in the Rise, people who go on and do people like, say like, I think last year, someone went on and did Lamal. Now, if you wanna, because the whole idea with Stars in the Rise, you get work off the back of that show by, like, companies, don't you, saying,
Yeah.
who will we book?
Yeah.
You could get the real Lamal for about 30 quid. so why have an imitator?
There you go, feeder, just the way I'm feeling, XFM 104.9, I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington. We've got a great show lined up this week, haven't we?
Go on, what have you got planned?
Well, I've got songs from David Bowie, Thin Lizzy, Gene, AC/DC, you heard Feeder there, you got, Smiths, all that. We got a great feature, a new feature. We spoke to Karl in the week, and we worked out a new feature where, people are gonna give him sort of like problems to solve. That could be scenarios, there could be management scenarios at work, you know, problem solving, things like that, organising things. He's a very good organiser, so I'll tell you what happened. He's dropping Do We Need Him because he's getting fed up with scientists. He thinks there's a conspiracy and they're getting together and they're never gonna lose an animal.
Right.
So he's just fed up with that. Rockbusters, we've got some great prizes.
Well, have you seen them yet?
No.
Be careful.
They're not gonna be great,
I just
are they?
peeked in, and all I'm going to say to you is, Fools and Horses Christmas Special?
Not the little one with the little car.
With the little car, yeah.
Brilliant. That is excellent. Carl, what have you got to say for yourself? Hold on, it was a rollover, wasn't it? Because you really mucked up Rockbusters last time. What was he doing? It was saying FP for the whole thing. No, FD you were saying, and it was Frida Payne.
Have you written the clues down this week? Because that seems like an obvious way to improve it.
Yeah, I'll write the clues
The week
down.
before he couldn't remember what the answer was.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, you learn by your mistakes and that.
You don't.
Well.
So
yeah.
I'll give you a little taster. But we were having a pizza in a pizza establishment. When was it? Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah.
And he was going, I'm a good organiser, I'm a good problem solver. Give me any scenario, right? Obviously he didn't say scenario. And I went, okay then, so you're the manager of this place, and there's a couple there, elderly couple, they're about 60. They've had a lovely meal. He went, yeah, right. I went, but the gentleman, he's got a little bit of a heart condition, he takes a pill after his meal, as he should, after meals. He's only taken Viagra.
Oh.
And now he's stuck in.
Wedged in?
Wedged in,
We've all been there.
it's gone, and it's stopping him getting out from the table.
Yeah.
So what would you do? He went, what? He's stuck in because of his dick? I went, yeah. He went, right. He said, I'd use the situation, I'd make cash. I said, you're not going anywhere, do you want a pudding?
Entrepreneurial, I like it, Carl.
And he went, so that's that sorted, I've got the job on that. Next, I went, okay. Another, you won't believe it. Next day, there's a little problem in the toilets. Two gay men were having sex and they got stuck in each other. Yeah, yeah. He went, right. I'd say, is it the same fella as yesterday with the Viagra? If so, why was he let in again? He was on the door.
Yeah.
I went, it's not, it's too different. He goes, right.
Does his wife know he's cheating on him?
Yeah. He went, right, I'd go down, I'd go, and then he went, Oh, I'd say this isn't a restaurant problem, call an ambulance. Strictly speaking, not a restaurant problem, no.
But am I right?
Huh?
Am I right?
Well, I don't know.
Would you give me the job if say, like, you were the boss of that restaurant, and you...
Do you know what I like about this? At no point did he say, Gervais, why are you being so mental?
Yeah.
Why would someone get stuck because they took Viagra by mistake, and two people get stuck in each other?
But you've heard the stories from his past. That is a perfectly legitimate situation to find yourself in. If you grew up in his part of
What would you
Manchester.
do if there was two fellas with big heads and webbed feet, and they had a horse in a... Well, what I'd do is... What would you do? What did you do when you first saw them?
What, saw the
kids
lads with the big heads and
Yeah, yeah.
I
We should
thought...
very quickly remind people, if they didn't listen to that particular show, they had webbed hands. Did they, or webbed feet?
Well, they had webbed hands.
Right.
And big
And
heads.
enormous heads.
But it wasn't related.
But they weren't related
I
to
know,
each
they were
other.
completely
No,
separate
but I'm
people.
saying that the webbed hands isn't due to the fact they've got a big head.
No, sure.
It's two different things. We're just unlucky.
Yeah.
No, hold on. If they weren't related, and they both had webbed hands and big heads, I'm saying there was a condition that was related that had those two.
I don't think it was.
So what do you think the chances of that are? They're not related, and he goes, oh, you got a big head and webbed hands as well. Yeah, just a coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah. I honestly don't think it was related.
Right.
Because I've since seen the same problem again on another kid with a big head. His hands look good.
Right, so you think the big head is just a separate issue?
Yeah, it's a totally different illness. It's like having a headache and a cold at the same time.
Right,
It's,
sure,
you know.
not always connected.
But the weird thing is, right, and looking around in the week at weird stuff on the internet, there's this woman who's got a big head,
Oh, yeah.
and she was fed up with it because when she was walking down the street, it was so big she couldn't hold it up.
Right.
Right?
She couldn't hold it up.
Oh God.
Okay, shut up.
So
She
when
could hold up.
when she was walking, her eyes were hurting because she had to sort of look up all the time because her head was that heavy. Her chin was sort of balanced on her chest.
Right, and she'd have to peek up, yeah.
So she goes to the doctors, and this was after years and years, and said, you know, I thought I could put up with it, but I can't. It's
How big was her head?
It's
I
big,
think
Rick.
I don't know if it was like big because there wasn't a picture. I don't know if it was just big or a lot of bone, so it was heavy.
Very heavy.
Right, like the Elephant Man, just
So yeah,
outcrops.
right. So the doctor said, yeah, we can sort that out, but we'll have to take your head off.
Right.
Okay,
No,
okay,
but
so
listen
keep
to
going.
this. Listen,
Keep going.
because what you don't seem to understand is I have the same reaction to you when I see it.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
You're quizzical yourself.
So
Suspicious.
looked at it, they took her head off, chipped away a bit of the bone, made her head lighter, put it back on.
Right, play the Smiths.
They
His arse.
took a woman's head off.
Yeah, his arse by the Smiths.
And if you'd like to ask Carl something, details coming up soon.
Ask by the Smiths on XFM 104.9. So, what's the email, Carl? If people want to ask you something, a problem, they've got a problem to solve. It can be anything. It could be a personal problem. It could be a scenario. It could be about war. It can be anything. But it
Or it could be more flippant, I suppose, and light-hearted.
yeah, it could be.
Yeah, but I prefer stuff that I could
So you can
sort
get your teeth into.
and actually, you know, sort out.
What, like war?
War is too. It's a bit big for me, that one.
Do you think?
I don't want to get into that.
What do you mean? If Tony Blair came to you and he went, Carl, listen, I'm having a bit of trouble here. I don't know what to do. I've tried everything. I've tried spin. I've tried being tough. I've tried backing down. I've tried getting other countries involved. They don't want to know. What do I do? What do I do?
Oh,
You don't know?
tricky one. I don't
It is
get,
a tricky
I don't
one, it is a
get
tricky one,
involved. I don't worry about it. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen, innit?
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Just get in the bath, put a mattress on top of you. That's it.
Sorry, why are you doing that?
Ooh, slow down.
Why are you doing that?
That's what they say you do, innit? If it kicks off.
If war kicks off.
If there's a war and that, you get in the bath, put a mattress on top.
Right. Did they do that in the Second World War for 6 years?
Was that making bunk beds?
That's what I read somewhere.
Yeah.
Is the bath full of water?
No. That'd be daft.
Okay.
I think they were enamel baths then though. I think they'd stop a bit of shrapnel. I think the plastic ones you get nowadays would probably melt on you. And the mattress, where your dad has cut it in half, all the foam would come out and the springs would get you in the eye.
Oh, talking about my dad. Steve, you'll love this, right?
Go on.
My dad hates being ripped off, right?
Yes, well, I can relate to that. That's important.
Hates coming to London now. He always wants me to go and see them rather than come here, because he just thinks London is like a big rip-off. Last time he came, he got annoyed because I bought him a scone and a cup of tea for like 3 of us, and it was £14, and he just was livid. And then we had an argument about that, and then we went to the Millennium Wheel, and I said, "Do you fancy going on this?" He said, "Oh, all right." And then he saw the price, and it was something like 20 quid or something. And he said, 20 quid to go up in the air to look at stuff that's on the ground. He said, I might as well stay on the ground.
Brilliant.
Right? Thought, good point.
His logic is impeccable.
So anyway, this is going on. Anyway, he spoke to me the other day. I said, how are things? Are they alright and that? He said, oh, being ripped off. I said, why? He said he ordered, do you know the place where he got a new bed from because he cut the other one in half,
yeah.
right? He got this bed out of a catalogue. So he sorted out a payment on the phone. He said, look, you're ripping me off a bit here on the interest thing, but well, let's do a deal. We'll sort out a new monthly payment that's different to what it says in the catalogue. And he said, yeah, we'll go along with that. Anyway, so he sorted that out. He was happy. The bed arrived. It's a nice bed. He said, that's great. So anyway, he got the bill for it, and it was the original price.
Oh, I thought it might be the case, yeah.
Right? So he called up and said, I'm not happy with this. He said, we said a deal. And I'm like, oh, no, don't know what you're talking about. He said, right, don't send me your catalogues anymore. He said, I'm not buying anything from you. You're a rip-off merchant. Right? So anyway, few weeks go by. Post comes. Only another catalogue in the post.
He's livid.
Right? So he was well annoyed.
Yeah.
So he looked on the back, and it said on it, this catalogue will always be property of, the company that does it. So you can't throw it away. If we request to have it back, we've got the permission to get it back off you. Right? So he thought, right, well, they're out of order. I told them not to send me one, and they have done, and they're saying I can't chuck it away. So he called them up and said, alright, Mr. Pilkington here, bought a bed off you conned me, and that. But, forget that. We've dealt with that. You sent me a catalogue, I told you not to. It says on the back here that this will always be yours. Yeah? So, in a way, you're using my house as a warehouse. I'll be charging you 26 pence or something a day.
Brilliant.
He said, you already owe me £6.28. Something like that.
Genius.
And, sorted it out. So again, it's just...
So hang on, but are they going along with this?
I don't know what happened. He said they sounded annoyed and said they'd get back to him, and they haven't. But he said, I'm not bothered. They can take as long as they want because the money just keeps going up.
Yeah. So what sort of profit has he made so far?
Well, when I spoke to him in the week, it was like £6 odd.
Yeah.
I think that was on Tuesday. So he's just leaving it. It's like an investment.
Yeah. It's like an antique.
It's just going up every day. So.
Well, keep us posted on that. That's dynamite. One day we need to speak to your father.
Yeah, I think so.
So many questions need to be answered.
In fact, I might sit and give you a letter to take home.
Yeah.
Dear Mr. Pilkington, your son Carl.
New single from Nick Cave. I think
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny you should say that, right? Because I went to a market at one point just to look at the things that were for sale there. There's lots of eels and lots of fish and lots of other interesting items, right? So I'm looking at the market, I'm taking some photos, and I noticed this, I hear this kind of murmur, right, that's going around the market, and then I start to see them, all the people in the market, sort of pointing, right, and staring and talking at something, right? So I'm looking around, trying to figure out what it is, right? And I realise they're looking and pointing at me. I genuinely swear to God, right? So they start, and then...
Did they think one of the big eels had escaped?
Well, they started laughing.
Oh no.
They started openly pointing and laughing. One of them, right, started, like, I think he was a postman. He looked like he might be a Vietnamese postman. I don't know why that should make any difference, but he started doing a sort of lumbering, sort of Frankenstein walk. And pointing at me, right? A whole section of them just started cackling with laughter. And then at one point, a woman in one of those sort of Vietnamese lampshade hats, right? She runs up behind me and she attaches to my back a sort of kick me thing that you would have attached to some nerd at school's back, right? She actually put something like that on my back. I don't realise initially, so they're just chortling. They are weeping by now, and I'm talking like the whole market is in hysterics. And old ladies are coming up to me and just, comparing their heights and then giggling, and then I'm sort of trying to get this thing off my back, so I look like a dog, chasing its tail. And I just realised that this entire marketplace was just openly laughing at me. And what angered me, Rick, was that I've spent a lot of time in this country, in the UK, right, building up a career, right, so that people don't laugh at me, right? They respect me, they see me as a man of great accomplishments and achievements. I go to another country where
with that hat.
Exactly.
Walking around with those glasses with a little money belt on, maybe sandals.
Sandals with socks because I got a foot infection. And it turns out that they're just laughing at me. Just openly mocking and laughing at me, right? So I just genuinely, I got upset and I got
You threw down your cagoule, left your clogs behind, and got on the first plane back.
I hopped in a rickshaw straight back to the hotel where they do not laugh at me openly. But anyway, just to return to the dong issue, right, this is what worried me, was that, obviously you got a tip, so we had a driver for a few days, right, and you got to leave him a tip. And I never always feel a bit awkward, when do you give him the tip and everything, how does it work? And so I didn't know how much it should be, and I was thinking, well, you know, it's a poor country, I've had a driver a couple of days, you know, I haven't paid for the driver, so I'll give him like $20, right, which is like 10 quid, you know, I'm thinking that seems like a good tip. I get in there, I read in the guidebook, I should have only given him $2. I
So?
gave him 20. Well, now but no, because A, you don't want to upset the precious equilibrium. You don't want to upset the financial equilibrium because he might have gone berserk.
Yeah.
I mean, that's $20 is a lot to him. He might have left his family, you know, bought a different, you know, corrugated iron shack
What
somewhere
if he
else.
turned up with a hat like yours and said,
Exactly, we're
"Let's
mates
go-
now, aren't we?
We're mates now, let's go
Yeah.
back to England."
Let's pick up some ladies. So I was a bit worried. So I was thinking of asking for the money, you know, for some change, but I didn't think that was appropriate. So, but then I was worried because then I was thinking, what if all the other drivers within his organisation find out that I've given him like $20? They're all going to be expecting a big tip.
Yeah.
So that was a big worry. But more than that, we'd also had a guide with us, so he was bound to find out how that things. Right now, I didn't have any dollars left, and I thought, well, I've given that guy 20. I got to give the guy who's been talking English to us, showing us around, helping us out. I got to give him even
50.
more. Right, I ended up giving him $1 million dong.
And how much is that?
$63. I tipped someone $1 million.
So he's a millionaire now.
Yeah, I made someone a millionaire through my generosity.
Well, so did I. He's sitting over there.
That's absolutely
But he
right.
doesn't want to give anything back. So I know how you feel, mate. Young, old man. Carl. Now, you know, traditionally at the zoo, they have to dart a dangerous animal, a lion or a gorilla or
After
whatever.
what?
They have to dart it,
Oh yeah.
right,
Yeah.
to take blood samples and check its health and stuff. So it's very stressful for the animal and quite dangerous to give it an anaesthetic like that. So what they've started doing now, there's a bug, right, like a type of beetle, and it's a bloodsucker. It's a little vampire bug. Okay, it's about 3 centimeters long. What they do is they tie a piece of string around it. They let it go into the cage on the chimp. It sucks the chimp's blood without the chimp even knowing. They pull it back, and they take the blood sample from it.
They've taught it to do that.
Well, they're not taught it to do anything. That's its nature. You put it near a warm-blooded mammal, it will suck its blood. So they've just tied a string to it so they can get it back.
And how often does it have to do that a day?
Well, I don't know. Why are these the important questions?
Just
Isn't that incredible that they've got this amazing symbiotic relationship with a bug? Because that's
Is it
what
the same one? Say if there's 8 chimps.
Oh, jeez, Carl, listen to me.
No, let him. I want to.
I'm just saying, if there's 8 chimps in there,
Yeah,
1 beetle.
yeah.
By about number 5, that's going to be sick of eating.
Well, then they probably have different beetles, and they let it. And Carl, I don't know why this is the.
I'll tell you why it annoys me,
avenue
because
of questioning.
it annoys him.
the other concern is, that beetle, it might be enjoying, you know, getting the blood and what have you. What happens if one of them's got AIDS?
What, one of the?
One of the chimps, that's where it came from. So say if there's
Well, then they know, and they say, "Oh, this chimp's got AIDS. Let's."
and what about the beetle?
What, you're saying you're worried that the beetle will contract AIDS?
Well, I don't know if that's how it works, but all I'm saying is, you get a dirty chimp in there, it's got a touch of that, and the beetle gets it, and all I'm saying is, it seems a bit unfair.
What are you worried about the beetle? Working hard. It's eating what it likes.
This is the same as getting in foreigners to make cheap trainers, to me. They, you know, let the beetle do what it wants. I mean, how long do they live? I read the other day about some elephant beetle, they get about 4 months.
Right.
What do you think of this, right? This elephant beetle, in the paper the other day,
Yeah.
about the size of a gerbil.
Right.
Massive. Odd looking thing. The bigger, the uglier it is.
Why are you looking at me?
No. In a way, that is the way it works, isn't it? I think size is a big deal, isn't it? In a way, because
This is interesting.
well, we better being smaller, aren't we?
Well, it depends.
What do you mean?
Well, no, if you're afloat in the Atlantic Ocean and it's 4 degrees centigrade, it'd be better to be fat.
I didn't really mean like that. I just meant in terms of, like, Steve, I've mentioned he's taller than us.
Yeah.
He's always ill.
Well, that's nothing to do with his height.
I just think bigger people, it's like that Zhang Lung or whatever, the world's tallest man. He's always sneezing and that. He's always got something up with him because he's not meant to be that big. Small fellas, you never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room. they never get ill, do they? You never see one getting run over because they're too small, so you don't hit them. So it's. I think size. If you're too big,
You never see a midget in a doctor's waiting room.
so the
Well,
thing,
maybe they're there.
no, they're not. They're not. So what I'm saying to you is this beetle that's massive, size of a gerbil.
Yeah, but it's still. But a gerbil's small. What do you mean?
No, this is a big one.
This beetle is massive. It lives 4 months.
This 4 months been found in a banana crate. Right.
Right.
It's over here. They're upset for it because it's been in this banana crate for, it could be like 3 months. And the whole purpose of the elephant beetle is to have it away. That's all it wants in its life. It's only got 4 months and it loves having it away with another beetle. And it hasn't had it. So they found it in this crate and it looked distraught. They said it was showing all signs of, like, desperately wanting to have it away. It was
Well, when you can wank yourself to death with 6 legs, you leave anything alone for 3 months in a dark crate.
Just eating a load of bananas.
Yeah, eating bananas and whacking away
well, anyway,
6 times at exactly the same moment.
its feet go, apparently.
I bet it does.
What do you mean its feet go?
That's a sign. When they got it out, they were they got the experts in. They said, "What is this? We've got a beetle here the size of a gerbil." They said, "We'll come round." They had a look.
I said, well, how big's the gerbil?
That's just scientists HQ. There's a
yeah,
hotline you can phone
come
that.
round. Right, you'll need a gerbil-sized box to bring that round in. Come round. Ring. Operator. Can I have people in charge of giant gerbil beetles? I'll put you through. Hello? Gerbil beetle people. I think I've got one. Come round.
Anyway, its feet were going.
What do you mean its feet were going? Do you mean it was dancing like Lionel Blair, or it had bunions?
I haven't seen one, but
There's a surprise.
I just read that that they were saying, yeah, we know what's the problem here. Look at its legs go, and they go up and down a lot, and it means that it wants like a partner. It's dying for it. And they were saying they only live 4 months, and it looks about 3.5 months old. This one.
How can they tell that?
The problem is they haven't got any of these beetles here,
Right.
so they've had to, instead of flying it back out,
Yeah.
they've gone over there to try and find one to bring it back because of the stress and that it's had, and it's older.
Couldn't you put a gerbil in a beetle outfit?
Hang on a minute.
I don't mean a little wig holding a guitar.
But I don't know the full story in that. I just know that they found this beetle.
It just sounds unlikely that people would be this concerned about
do, I
one
agree.
beetle, and it's only got half a month left. It's got 2 weeks left. It's got to have some sex. We have got to give this beetle some sex because, god damn it, it's a beetle. What was found on a boat with some bananas?
I don't
it
know
deserves
why-
sex before it dies.
I don't know why he cares more than a blood-sucking beetle than a chimpanzee.
I just can't
suddenly.
believe people are flying out to Japan or
Why
wherever
do
they
you
come
care so much about beetles all of a sudden?
only because they were mentioned, and I just thought, whilst we're on the beetle tip, let's discuss them.
from. Absolutely.
Stone Roses on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello there.
And Karl Pilkington for the last time,
Indeed.
I'm afraid.
Yes.
So, we're going to have a little bit of a chat. We're sewing up some things with Karl.
Indeed.
We're giving away that prize, that BAFTA bag, and,
Playing some great music.
and we're just, I'm bringing in my favourite tunes. I'm bringing the Smiths, Radiohead, Cat Stevens, David Bowie, Neil Young, the classics. Steve's doing the same.
Indeed.
Well, Karl, the last time apparently, someone's got it a bit wrong. We're not actually away for 6 weeks. We're away for about, we'll be back in, August, won't we?
What the hell?
Yeah. No, don't swear.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
On the last show, you have to say that.
Already brought the tone down.
Yeah.
Cheapened it,
And I think it's blasphemous as well.
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, hell isn't, is it?
isn't it?
No, I don't think that's not blasphemy, is it?
Taking hell's name in vain.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was it you were saying the other week about the Queen Mum used to have the right mouth on her?
What?
I don't think we said that on air, Carl.
What?
No, but last week you
Yeah.
were saying about bad language, and I was saying, there'll come a time when bad language isn't, doesn't matter anymore. You can F and Jeff and stuff.
Oh, I know what he's talking about, Steve.
Really?
Right, let me explain to you, the listener at home. Carl was worried about swearing, and as a joke, off air, it was last week, we were saying that in the 1940s and 50s, the Queen Mum used to say things like, and we were quoting things she'd said, like, I'm saying, but putting F's and C's in there, and you believed us.
What, so this whole week you've believed that we somehow had knowledge that the Queen Mum used to swear
say-
like a trooper?
We were doing fake quotes from her in her voice, but putting in F's and C's, and you believed us. I mean, I didn't even think, I thought you were going along with a joke, but it obviously made an impact.
Carl, we've said this, you've got to question and query everything. You can't take things at face value, certainly not if they come out of the mouths of Ricky Gervais.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, sorry about that, Carl. It was a little trick.
Is there any other things now that, as
Is
you
there
look back
anything
over
we've
the
said that
time
you would
we've
think
spent
about
with
that
us?
I can tell you now that was a lie?
Anything you've maybe queried or questioned, you know, you've thought, oh, that doesn't seem right, that maybe Ricky's told you?
Something might come to me
Okay.
later on, but
Okay. Well, what about Carl? I mean, we love you, right? Obviously, we know that. And we've got great affection for you. We look forward to this. I'm going to miss you, really. And I'll tell you what, you've got a heart of gold. Now, wait till you see what the record is, Steve, and you'll see what I've done.
Is it Heart of Gold?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Alright, that's why he's a bronze award winner at the Sonys.
I don't get up for bronze. I don't get out of bed for bronze.
No, that's a waste of our time.
Carl Pilkington over there on XFM 104.9. Winner of a bronze award
At the
Sonys
Radio Awards.
The Radio Oscars. So
Man
Phil
alive.
Jupiter said. That's what he called them on Liquid News.
I'll tell you this, Rick, I'm not used to being on a table with losers at an award ceremony.
No, I don't. I'm glad I didn't want to come in to do the final show.
No.
You know, I went straight over and sat with Pete and Jeff, didn't I?
Yeah. I went
In
over to
Radio
the,
4. I went over with Paul Gambaccini.
I went over
That's
to BBC World Service.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot funkier. A lot cooler.
Won an award.
Yeah,
won an
they
award.
swept the boards.
Yeah. I don't. Bronze is nowhere.
What was the mood? What was the mood here?
Silver's. What was the mood here?
the mo-
Because the day after, because people were, I mean, let me tell you now, I think XFM deserved an award, and I thought it was criminal, actually.
But what I did like about that we certainly had the room, because Pete and Jeff said good luck to us and Christian. That was really nice. And then someone else mentioned it.
James Nesbitt.
James Nesbitt said XFM and stuff. So it certainly had the.
Gambaccini said something about it.
Yeah,
Did
so
he?
it
Paul
certainly,
Gamba?
it certainly had the room. And for a local, you've got to realise it's a local radio station, you know, and you can't compete really with Radio 2 and Radio 4. And
But what was the mood the day after here at XFM?
It was alright. I mean, I think we expected a few more,
But
but
you shouldn't take these things seriously anyway.
But
They're
what
very
I did- yeah, but
flattering,
what I
you
didn't
never
realise,
take
Rick-
awards seriously.
But what I didn't realise is you have to pay thousands of pounds just to nominate.
You're joking.
Just to get into the running for an award. So you've already, you know, they've squandered thousands of pounds.
No, it's
just
not
to
a thousand,
It
is
is.
it?
well, it mounts up because you pay to enter.
And then the table.
You've got to buy like mini discs and that to send your stuff in on. Which
Sure.
ends up with Sony mini discs.
Oh, I see what you're saying,
I'm
Carl.
not saying anything.
No.
And also then you've got to pay for the table
Right.
and the food and the drink. I mean, it's a few grand.
I swore on live television as well that night.
Yeah.
But I've never done that before. I mean, I've sworn before, but never accidentally. And we were being interviewed for, and Christian was sort of like, quite, you know, being a bit boisterous, and he must have brought out the worst in me, and I just accidentally said the F word, and I apologised straight away. I didn't want to embarrass Phil Dupas. He was doing a
He
good
does
job.
that himself, yeah.
but I was thinking about yesterday, and you're saying a bronze isn't worth having, right?
Yeah.
But say like
We're only joking. None of them are worth having, but they're very nice. They're very nice to
No,
win.
bronze
and
is
it's-
pointless.
But you say that because, like, bronze is like coming last, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell me the name of the person who won the marathon this year? No.
Yeah, but that's because we're not sporty.
Well,
I'm sure there's
listen.
lots that can.
But then the guy who came last, who was in the swimsuit, people remember him. And
No, I don't remember his name either.
No, what's his name?
No, but he was 6 days late. I mean, he was really.
Yeah, but what's
bad.
his name then?
You see, no one's remembering either.
No, but if someone said who won the marathon, I'd go, I don't know. But there was that guy in the swimsuit.
Well, I'd say I don't know. It was a woman.
Yeah.
She had shorts on and trainers.
I'm just trying to make.
My point is, what they will remember is that we were losers. That's what they remember. They may not remember our names.
Yeah.
They'll just point and shout losers.
We're all winners, aren't we? We're all winners, really.
For taking part, sure.
Yeah.
And it's all subjective as well, isn't it?
Go on.
I mean, I'm not going to moan about awards because you've won a lot of them. It's like saying they don't mean jack. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, right, there's some shows that won awards and you go, yeah, that's worth an award.
I think you've got to treat it. I mean, some awards actually boost your profile or career or your cachet or everything like that. Some it's just a nice night out and it's nice to win, but I don't think you should really take any award that seriously.
What worries me though, Rick, as I mentioned on the night, is that when I was at school, I mean, you look at me now, you probably think he's an athletic kind of guy, he's a sporty dude, you know, but at school, bizarrely, that was not the case.
No, what were you, a bit of a lanky beanpole with
It turns out, yeah.
You're joking.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
So, I got a silver, in the high jump.
Yeah.
And I've done better in the high jump, right? Did no training whatsoever, did no practice, just turned up.
You were 2.5 foot taller than every other person in your class.
Yeah, but wait a minute, people think that if you're tall, that makes you easier, it makes it easier for you to do the high jump. Surely not, because I've got all that leg to get over the pole. That makes it harder for me, surely.
Don't talk rubbish.
What are you talking about?
Well, of course the taller you are, the more chance you got at the high jump.
What, explain that to me.
being equal. Oh, what, are you, okay then. So, is it harder for a 6-foot man to step over a matchbox, or a baby midget?
A baby midget? That is tiny, Rick.
Hang on. Here's something I've learned, remember?
Go on.
Back to, like, show 4 or whatever.
Go on.
What is it? The flea can jump over the London Eye?
No! No, it can jump the equivalent of, if it was a 6-foot man, it can jump about 6 inches high. A flea cannot jump over the London Eye.
Yes, it can. Yeah, it can.
And
Tell your kids that.
God. Oh,
remember.
Oh, a flea can jump over the London Eye. And an ant can lift 3 Volvos.
But you're talking about fitness people and that. Remember
Go on.
when we were in the pub, right?
Yeah.
And your mate Johnny was in there.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that guy who got done, right? Because he entered a wheelchair race.
Yeah.
And there was nothing wrong with him. His legs were all right.
Yeah.
Now, he got done because he shouldn't have been involved in it.
Yeah.
But don't you think that really he's really good for doing that, because he's not normally in a wheelchair.
Sure.
So he's not used to how they move about.
Yeah.
His arms aren't as strong as the other fellas who are always in the wheelchair.
Sure. He had his mate pushing him, that was the problem.
Yeah, it was motorised.
I'd give him a gold plus. You know, you're taking a bloke who's not used to doing something. He does it the first time and beats the people who are at it.
What about that woman, though, that was disqualified in the shooting, because she was in a wheelchair, and she was just in the normal, able-bodied Olympics, it was just, she entered, right? But she wasn't allowed to rest her elbow on the arm of her chair, because that was such a disadvantage. She was in a wheelchair, and she's shooting, but she was getting unfair advantage, and they said, you cannot put your elbow on the arm of your
Sneaky,
wheelchair.
aren't they? No, they are. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful.
Do you want to play it?
Some of them aren't even disabled, it turns out.
Hold on, though. We're talking about athletes, aren't we? What record should we play next?
I'd love to hear that single that was out a couple of months back by Athlete. Let's have Athlete. Man alive. West Side by Athlete, a track that I know you and I have enjoyed.
Yeah, it's one of our favourite new tracks of the year, that one. Yeah,
absolutely.
Very good. More of our favourite tracks to come on XFM 104.9.
You know,
me, Ricky Gervais, and you,
Steve Merchant,
and
Karl Pilkington.
Sure, go on.
You know, I was mentioning the high jump. High jump. Do you know the reason I didn't get the gold? It's faintly embarrassing, because the guy it was just neck and neck, me and another guy. In fact, he was slightly shorter than I was. And I was using the traditional Fosby flop. Is it the Fosby flop? Fosby flop. And he was using a method, which I can only describe as the Superman, where he was running at the bar and diving headfirst over it. I've never seen this technique before.
It's illegal, that's why.
Incredible. Is it not allowed?
The Fosby flop only works because his shoulder and going over before his head.
Right.
That's they got around the rule. You weren't allowed to dive over because it was
obviously no one monitoring that.
Yeah, no.
Just the games teachers having a quick fag.
Yeah. What was his name again? The fag.
I think his name was Mr. Woodbine. Anyway, so he's using this method, right, and it gets neck and neck, and I don't know how many chances you get to knock down the bar, but anyway, it got to the point where basically I had to get over the bar, or I was going to come second.
Sure.
And I decided at that point to use his method, because he'd seemed to be doing so well with it. I thought, well, I'll try that then. That looks easy.
Oh dear.
And ran at the bar, launched, didn't actually get my feet off the ground, just hit the bar like I was someone finishing a race, you know.
Did you have...
It was so pathetic, just got everywhere.
I just want to get this picture of you at the age of what, 15, 16?
Yeah.
6'5" already, probably?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Probably what, about 9 stone?
Exactly.
Yeah. Did you have your glasses on?
Of course I did.
You must have looked pretty sexy.
Probably a small bum fluff tash.
Yeah.